Welcome back to Movie Mistakes. I'm Jenna Wendell, and this is Olivia Tin.
Jenna, we're not doing movie mistakes this week.
We're not?
No. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that to you.
Whoa, I was so worried there for a second, because I've been rehearsing for this all week long. Liv, you're such a joker.
I know, right? Nah, I'm not that mean.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. That was pretty mean, Liv. Anyway, let's get on to our movie mistakes. This week, the two movies are...
Wait, don't say them. I won't say them.
Okay. I don't want your tears on set. Just go ahead.
Well, our two movies this week, I guess you could call them throwbacks, are Grease and Dennis the Menace.
Our first movie mistake is from Grease. You can see when Frenchie or Vi are in the diner talking, Vi goes and turns off the light switch. If you watch her elbow on the light switch, she turns it off, but her elbow's not even touching the light switch. Now this next scene, if you look at the couple in the middle, the girl with like the orange hair and the leather jacket guy, they switch spots in this next scene.
Our first movie mistake, or our movie mistake for Dennis the Menace, occurs when Dennis is staying the night at Mr. and Mrs. Wilson's house, and he just got done brushing his teeth. He's got toothpaste all over his mouth. And then from the side view, his toothpaste disappears. And then back to the mirror view, it's back. And then when it switches to side view again, it disappears again.
Well, join us next week for more movie mistakes.
And I promise I'll pull no jokes. See you later.
Hi, I'm Seth Kreitz.
And I'm Shane Brunswick.
And we're back this week again with another college football outlook. And I guess we're going to start with the top 10 teams here. And at number 1, we got Oregon. And they're undefeated, and they're doing great. I see them and Auburn in the national championship, just like a lot of other people do. But TCU and Boise State are making a run for it. Boise State was recently jumped by TCU. TCU's number 3 now. LSU at number 5 is a little surprise. Les Miles has been doing great with that team. Stanford, Wisconsin, all these teams up there, Ohio State. Oklahoma State is making the biggest surprise here, though. But all those other teams down underneath number 5. It's a little surprise the way that it's all shaking out right there, but I think these guys are certainly in the national championship race.
That's for sure. All right, Seth, we got the Heisman race as of week 11, and let's go ahead and talk about that.
Well, I don't think anything changed. We thought, some of these things might have been changing, but, it's still Cameron Newton, even though with all that stuff swirling around him, like those allegations and all those things, he's been brushing that off his shoulder, and he's just going out there and doing the normal stuff he does. He's still in contention for the Heisman, and he's number 1 in that race. So, there's nothing really changed. I think last week was all about survival, and Auburn survived. So,
all right, Seth. Newton played, but Auburn decided, to sit against him. What do you think about that? That, with all the allegations that he was, during his recruitment and everything, what do you think about not sitting him, you know what I mean? Playing.
Well, if I was, the Auburn head coach, I would not sit Newton when he's your offensive leader and he's, the nation's run away with the Heisman Trophy. I would not, just sit him on the bench for something that's not even proven anyway. So, it's great to see him play, and it's great to see him just continue his good fortune with the Heisman and everything. It's awesome.
Seth, I think it was a good result, considering, that they're going to the SEC championship, and that's the first time since 2004 that they've went there. I think that's pretty impressive. I think they can't regret playing them now,
Definitely, and less than an hour before the game, everybody wondered if Newton would even play it down because all that stuff swirling around him, all those allegations and everything. But then he ran for 31 yards and a touchdown on his 5th play. That's crazy. So it's great to see him, throwing, running the football just like he normally does, acting like nothing's really happening. And, he's taken his Auburn team to his first SEC championship since 2004. It's crazy.
So yet the Heisman community had better be ready to elevate somebody else to the race's role position. Yes, Newton remains eligible. I think, and I think that's a good thing that he's still eligible to, win the Heisman. And as long as Newton continues to play and dominate defenses, he should be sitting at number 1 in the Heisman race. And you'll see that he is at number 1 in the Heisman race, and that's no surprise to anybody in the country because with the stats that he's putting up and his team leadership.
Well, you said that you need another player to step up. Well, I think that player's Oregon's LaMichael James. He's number 2 in this list, and he's there for a reason. Even though they struggled a little bit last Saturday, winning 15-13 in Berkeley, California, I think the way James fought for 91 yards rushing, he only missed his 8th 100-yard rushing game, which is insane for considering how old he is and everything. But yeah, he fought his way to 91 yards rushing, even though they struggled in that game. And Oregon's really riding on his shoulders. They need him to carry him. So it's awesome to see him doing so well.
So then you look at Oregon's offense altogether. They're just considered explosive. You know what I mean? They can do a lot of things, not just run the ball, but also pass the ball. And you've seen LaMichael James isn't just a runner. He can catch the ball out of the backfield too. And I think that there's no surprise that he's second on the Heisman race.
They're calling LaMichael James the Heisman, and there's a good reason for that. Well, also atop the Heisman race is Boise State's Kellen Moore. He's up there for a reason, and he's taking the Broncos down to the road to the national championship yet again. It's going to be kind of hard to deny these guys again for the national championship, especially if Kellen keeps playing the way he does. But he hasn't thrown an interception lately. He's been doing just great. He's making his statements for the Heisman Trophy, and he's just doing great.
So the one thing that impresses me that stands out more with Kellen more than any of these other guys is that he's a junior.
Yeah.
He can still choose if he wants another year left or not. I think that's pretty impressive. Getting all this all these stats and getting up there in the national spotlight. For being a junior, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I see Moore being the Heisman Trophy candidate, and he's gonna take his team pretty far up there. I don't know if they'll go to the national championship just because it's Boise State and that's what they've always done to them. But whatever plays out, Kellen Moore's just gonna have a great rest of the season.
Well, Moore I think is considered fantastic and James electric. Others on this Heisman race, such as Oklahoma State receiver Justin Blackmon and Stanford quarterback Andrew Luck, are worthy of individual accolades for their achievements this season. Well, we're talking Heisman here.
Well, Andrew Luck, it's going to be kind of tough for him to win the Heisman. But at the same time, like you said, he does deserve some accolades. He deserves some respect. And it's kind of a break between them and Oregon's LaMichael James. And after him, it's going to be kind of tough to make a statement for the Heisman Trophy. But then again, these guys are still in the running for it. It's going to be kind of a long shot for them to win it. But at the same time, they got a chance.
Nothing against Andrew Luck or anything, but I think he's going to have to, really pull out some hefty statistics here towards the end of the season.
Definitely.
Especially coming up, because I feel like Cameron Newton's got this one, pulled away. But as you said, though, it's you never know. We still got some season left. Still playing.
Especially with Justin Blackmon from Oregon or Oklahoma State. I think that he's making his case out there in the field and everything, and I think that he's a great receiver. He's been doing great. If you're a receiver and you're making your statement for the Heisman Trophy, that's even I think that he's going to take his team pretty far up there in the Bulls.
All right, Seth. That's going to wrap it up for this week. College Football Outlook, and hopefully you guys stay tuned next week for another edition of College Outlook, and we'll see what the Heisman race and how it shakes up for next week.
All right. See you guys then.
Good morning, Fort Recovery, and welcome to this week's episode of When I Was 16. I'm Zabin.
I'm Kara,
I'm Elizabeth. And I'm Kylie.
and this week we interviewed our spectacular, awesome elementary principal, Mrs. Vaughn.
Along with our boys varsity basketball coach and middle school history teacher, Mr. Patch.
Well, I hope you enjoy this episode.
And tune in next week for another great segment of When I Was 16.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hipple, and I'm interviewing Mrs. Vaughn about when she was 16. So, what year was it when you were 16?
1989.
Wow. What was some popular music in 1989?
I like to listen to all kinds of music. I would say I remember going to an AC/DC concert.
That had to be fun.
It was a good time, yeah.
What were the popular cars in 1989?
I don't know what was popular, but I drove a Honda Civic hatchback. Most of the times it didn't start, and we ended up having to push start it down the driveway in the morning. So I don't know what was popular, but my car didn't work very well.
What did you and your friends do when you were 16?
Probably typically what 16-year-olds do now, hang out, go to the movies, that kind of thing.
Well, what did you guys wear when you were 16?
I don't know, I suppose the one thing I remember is big hair, bright clothes.
Did you play any sports?
I did, I ran track, did track and field, that was my sport.
Did you have a boyfriend when you were 16?
I didn't. I really didn't have a boyfriend at all until I went to college, so I just spent a lot of time hanging out with friends.
Did you know what your life plans were when you were 16?
From little on, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. So I always wanted to do that and have a family someday. So
Well, did you get along with your parents okay?
I did. I got along with my parents great. And being the oldest, I don't know if that was part of it, but yeah, close family. We're still very close.
Did you have any embarrassing moments?
Plenty. I would say when I was 16, the most embarrassing moment was decorating for prom. And I was standing up on a table to put decorations, and I fell and got a huge scratch on my shin, and my whole leg swelled up, so I couldn't wear shoes to prom the next day. Yeah.
What was the overall best thing about being 16?
I think carefree. I think now about how much there is to worry about and think about and focus on, and when you're 16 you don't really have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So carefree for sure.
Well, that's all I have today. Thanks for your time.
Hi, my name is Kylie Golick, and I'm here with Mr. Patch. And we're interviewing him about when he was 16. So, Mr. Patch, what was some popular music?
Probably a lot of the hair bands of the 80s with like AC/DC and Metallica and Kiss and Poison and those kind of things.
Sweet. What about popular cars?
Not really sure what was popular. What I drove probably wasn't popular, but it was a Beretta back then, so, and a Grand Am, so that's what I drove.
What did you and your friends do?
Just kind of hung out. We played ping pong, pool, cards a lot, kind of gambled. Went cruising, that was the big thing kind of back then as well. So.
Cool. And what did you wear?
Went out, blue jeans and a t-shirt, similar to today. School wore shorts and sweats and t-shirts.
Okay, and did you have a job?
Yeah, I did.
Was it fun?
Yeah, I was working with my uncle at a sporting clay range, so got to walk around and shoot guns and hear people shoot guns, which was pretty cool.
Sweet. Did you play any sports?
Yes, I did, basketball.
Were you any good?
Depends on who you talk to.
Oh, okay. And did you have a girlfriend?
A few of them, nothing serious, but just a few.
Okay.
Not at one time either.
Oh. What were your life plans?
Back then it was to be a teacher and a coach, and that's what I do today.
Sweet. So it all worked out. Did you get along with your parents?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And did you have any embarrassing moments?
Nothing I can really think of. I mean, nothing really embarrassing, I guess, happened to me at all. So.
And what was the best thing about being 16?
At that time, you thought life probably wasn't as good, thought everyone was hard on you, but looking back, realized that it was pretty simple and no bills, no payments, lived at home, mom and dad cooked and did laundry for you, and you didn't have to really worry about anything. So I would say those things of I guess, being free and living free and not having a care in the world.
Okay, that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.